that was the reason why. I'm just a basic girl, huh? Be lazy. Hello everyone. Did you miss me? Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to make some crochet room decor. I recently redecorated my room. If you haven't watched that vlog, I'll link it here. I'm actually really proud of this video. Like, I love the editing style here. It's a little chaotic. I kind of didn't really have a plan. This project extended way longer than I thought it was going to be. And I decided that this would sort of ease me into crocheting again, making small little things that I like, that I can see myself using for my own room. Yeah, we're just gonna do a lot of crocheting. It's gonna be very quintessentially Celeste's crochet vlogs. So without further ado, grab your yarn and let's crochet together. I'm gonna cover a little bit with glasses. I'm so excited to explain to you what this first project is because I haven't been crocheting in such a long time. Well, okay. The only thing that I've really been crocheting is my own personal project. It's this crochet jacket that looks like cable knit. Ta-da! Wearables don't usually take me a long time, but a little blip happened in the middle, so I ended up redoing the entire thing. You don't need to know that, but here you go. I wanted to make some sort of keychain for my room. A keychain, you know, like everybody needs a keychain at one point. I actually had this saved on my Pinterest for a while. It's like this bear that kind of has its limbs attached by jump rings. I thought that was such a cool design. In my rush out of the house, I just chose the first spare yarn, and it happened to be this white yarn. In the next coming clips, you're gonna see me work on this a little bit, and I will talk to you guys in just a couple of seconds. Okay, welcome back. As you can tell, I tried following a pattern that I found, but it was really big. I don't know what I'm gonna do with a keychain that big. I ended up adjusting a couple of the measurements. It looks smaller. In any of the photos, there's always an accent color, like a secondary color, and I made the mistake of making it white. I kind of have to go a little bit more whimsical. Maybe this pink. I'm working on the limbs right now, so the two arms and the legs, which should be about the same. Should just be a magic ring, and then I keep working up in a cylinder. Next, the ears. Okay. Some patterns that I look at, they do the ears separately and then you sew it on, but can I not do that? Can I just sew it directly on? Can I just stick it in and then chain 2, and then here half double crochet perhaps, and then another half double crochet in the same place. It's working, right? Chain 2 again, and then slip stitch it into that hole, and then I cut it off. We'll have two ends, tighten it tight. Why not? Secure it, and then I'll I'll just weave it inside. That looks good. What? Why do I need to make a separate attachment and sew it in then? Guys, we're working too hard. Sometimes you gotta take the easy way. Be lazy.
I just got stopped by someone to ask where my sweatpants are from. Where are the carrots?
제가 중국도에 가고 싶은 사람은 이나수 씨입니다.
I wanted to finish this outside when I went to a cafe, but I brought all the other materials except for this guy. For the finishing touches, I'm just gonna use this light pink eyeshadow, and I'm gonna use it to color in the ears, and then maybe blush, we'll see. I'm just using a tiny, I don't really know what brush to call this. It's like kind of flat. I actually used sewing thread for the eyes because it was pretty small, but this is how it turned out. I definitely should have used a different color for the main bear instead of white. The white definitely restricts some of my options. I love it though. It's like, it's so fidgety. Imagine putting it on like your purse or something. Hello guys! The other day I got started on my next project, but I used whatever scrap yarn that I could find. I got really inspired by this. This is Celeste from the future, editing and giving myself a migraine as I'm seeing how I'm explaining things and cutting things out. I didn't do my explanation of this project justice, so I'm going to explain how we got here. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but recently I feel like there's kind of this movement this spring to make things very whimsical, and buttons are very synonymous to whimsy and this childlikeness. Putting buttons on clothing, on crochet pieces, these giant oversized buttons. If you look at a button, like a regular circle button, it kind of looks like a coaster. Of course, I searched it up, and the type of crochet coaster that I found was like a very flat coaster, but I wanted something like a little bit more
oomph, the buttonness, but also combined with this sort of thing, that puffiness. We've seen it everywhere in like crochet, clay, or the ceramic field, and even in quilting there's a lot of this like puffiness coming around, and it's really cute and really whimsical. But guys, I was scrolling on Pinterest and I found this image that is literally like, and even today I was scrolling on my Instagram reels and I saw this girl make a ceramic metallic version. I'm just a basic girl, huh? You can't expect to have an original thought anymore if your thoughts are just all trends, huh? I'm still gonna make it. I'm still gonna make it. And I still haven't found a tutorial that has that crochet puffiness that mimics a button. Gotta give the girl what she wants. And this girl wants a button-shaped coaster.
As I was freehanding it, I think it was maybe the color of yarn that I used, but it looked like a jellyfish. The original plan was to make a button coaster, but why not try to make both? That could be fun. So I have this, I don't know how to describe it, olive green? Avocado green? Oh, olive twist. Olive green. And then I also found this beautiful yarn. This is a weight 5 yarn, so I'm not really sure how that's gonna affect the coaster size because I'm used to working with weight 4 yarn, medium weight yarn. So we'll see how that plays out. And this is actually something I'm considering making a tutorial for, my jellyfish reiteration of this coaster. I just really like the puffiness, and I really liked how my testing coaster turned out. That's what I have. I was working on test 2, kind of. This is my prototype. Isn't it so cute? This is very chunky, and I really don't know what it is, but it feels like a very thinner weight yarn, like a weight 3 maybe. And usually when I work with this type of yarn, it's really thin, so I end up double stranding. This I actually used on one of my first ever projects. Let me see if I can get it. Ta-da! It's a granny square heart tote bag, and I followed Viv Crochet's tutorial. I made this for my mom, and when we went to the store together, we just chose 3 colors that she liked, and I didn't really think about how they would work together. So we ended up getting this very low contrast type of tote. It's one of those types of yarns where you don't really know what to do with it. So I was so excited to bust out this for my prototype, and I actually really love the color together with this. Can you believe that these are the same color? The answer is no. Personally, wouldn't really recommend this type of yarn for a coaster. I know it like depends on people. It's very soft, does absorb water, which is good. I personally like mine to absorb and repel a little bit of water at the same time. I don't really know like the full-on science behind it, but I just find that acrylic cotton blends work the best. So at the cafe, you saw me use this green yarn, and I used a 4.0 millimeter size. It might be slightly too loose. So I know this because for any coasters that I make, when I put it up to the sun, you can't see any gaps. This one too, there's like barely any gaps. When I put this up to the sun, almost every stitch has a gap. Yeah, I'm gonna try this out with a 3.5.
Why am I hogging the camera?
I am making a couple adjustments. I just can't tell. I can't tell. In this one, the holes are very small. I know that you can't really see it. Here's the front, here's the back, by the way. I feel like it looks really accurate to what happens when you just sew buttons on. And then this is when I adjusted it. I made the holes have a more prominent hole. And as of now, I can't tell because it is like a little loose and it is a little bit bigger. These rows of single crochets bend over like this. I'm gonna do some for the bottom side. And then when you stuff it, it would give it that puffy texture. When you see it, you'll see it, okay? But you know what? I personally don't like it when buttons have big holes, because when I sew it, that means This sounds so dumb. I don't like it when buttons have big holes because that means I have to sew it more times to secure it. So maybe smaller holes is the move. Okay, we'll just keep it like the original, which is easier, by the way. Less room for error. I can't believe that was the reason why I justified it. Hello, it's a new morning and I wanted to give an update about where I'm at before I finish stuffing it, and to also just show you what is going on. So I make a coaster, and in that last row of the coaster, I start doing 2 different sides. So one is in the front loop and the other is in the back loop. Kind of looks like this lily pad teacup looking shape. Once I finish both sides, this top part is obviously a little bit longer because I wanted it to curve a little bit more, and I'm just slip stitching the rows together. Ultimately, you will see that there's a little bit of a seam as you stuff it. Hopefully you'll notice that it becomes less noticeable. For stuffing, I'm using yarn. I haven't bought stuffing in a really long time. This yarn, it's a very interesting color. Not gray enough to be gray, not beige enough to be beige. I always say that I'm gonna use it for something like a keychain, but when the time comes, I always use a different color. Like, there are always better color options. So I decided I'll finally just let go of this potential. If I haven't used it at all up until this point of how long I've had this yarn for, I'm more than likely not going to use it. As I continue stuffing this, what can I give you updates on? TV shows that I watched. I finished the entire season 2 of One Piece live action in a couple of days. I love One Piece. Wow. They did such a good job with the casting, and no one's gonna tell me otherwise. That is on business. In terms of K-drama, I think the last updates that I gave y'all were Queen of Tears and True Beauty. I was actually rewatching some of my old vlogs, and that's when I realized, hey, I didn't finish them. Upon watching another one of my old vlogs, Queen of Tears just frustrated me with all of the miscommunication, so that's why I dropped it. But maybe I should pick it back up. If you do your stitches tight enough, you shouldn't be able to see inside of the gaps, meaning that you can essentially stuff anything in here and nobody's gonna know. So I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I collect little scraps of my yarn, like whatever's left over of my project. I think I have a whole Ziploc bag of them. If you tend to do that, you can totally stuff it in here and actually make use of it. The live action One Piece actually did encourage me to continue the anime. As for what arc I'm on Fisherman Island arc, which is, what episode is that? It's not that far in. It's maybe like, it's like halfway. Insert what episode I'm on. I think I've been on and off media recently. I've been kind of on a grind of listening through audiobooks of books on my shelf. I finished Yellowface, which is actually not on my bookshelf. Right now I have a couple of books. It's the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. A lot of vignettes on why different people time travel at this cafe. When I bought this book, I would read it before I went to bed, and it's such a cozy book to read, but it was a while ago, so I just started reading the audiobook just to refresh my memory, and I think as of now I'm up to date on where I was. So I have an empty cup just to demonstrate. Yes, there's actually a lot of room. Now, for the accent, I'm actually just gonna chain 17. Okay, I'll chain 20 for now, and I'm not gonna cut it off yet. I'm putting it from the back, weaving it through. It's pretty similar to what you would do if you're actually sewing in a needle. Then I might need to chain some more. guys, it's been a minute. It's been a really long minute. This is kind of the version that I'm very happy with, and I think it's a pretty versatile size. This is with a weight 4 yarn. This is with a weight 3. I honestly wouldn't recommend a weight 3 yarn unless you know that your cups are pretty narrow, and /or weight 3 yarn is the only yarn that you have available. This is kind of how a weight 3 yarn compares to a weight 4. Not too much of a difference until I stack them on top of each other. That's where you can really see the size difference. So far, I've just made the base version of this, and I think it looks... my phone died. After I finished my testing one, this one, and this smaller one, I finally decided to try to make my jellyfish version. And so I have this. This is a weight 5 yarn, which explains why it is so big in comparison. Ta-da! Okay, and then for comparison of this, yeah. On the bright side, it can hold essentially anything, even small bowls maybe. Since I kind of perfected what the base looks like, I wanted to figure out how to add something on to make it more like a jellyfish. So around the edges where I slip stitched over here, I was thinking maybe chaining to make little ruffles like this. Or if I just attached like 2 or 3 single crochets into each stitch, then it would make that ruffly texture. So there's a couple of options that I could do. It's kind of what we're going to test out tonight. Under normal circumstances, I probably wouldn't have fastened off from the slip stitches, and I would have just continued to work from there. But I got really excited and I cut it off. So I think I'm just gonna attach my yarn somewhere along the slip stitches and just continue from there. Hi guys, it's a little later into the nighttime. I made this ruffly design. Into the next stitch, slip stitch, and then repeat. So slip stitch, and then repeat that. So from that slip stitch, chain 2, half double crochet, skip, slip stitch, chain 2, half double crochet into the same space. So it ends up kind of looking like this. I just wanted a little bit of detail because you know how jellyfish, they kind of have that wavy texture around their ends. It looks pretty accurate when it's flat like this. Maybe the yarn is just very variegated, so it's a little bit hard to see the texture. Actually, a whole 24 hours later, I posted on my story telling you guys that I would post a vlog and a tutorial by this week. Did I start the tutorial yet? Nope. We're almost at 48k subscribers. Wow. I will see you guys next time. To film my intro, maybe I should change my hair up to confuse you guys. A little side ponytail